that's what you're waiting for, October, for the polar bear to come out of his hibernation and do some big things.
Well, the shirt's not in hibernation, I'll tell you that much. He's in heavy rotation. Everyone in action on Tuesday after a soggy Monday in Florida, washed out most of the games. But 30 days, Dan, we are 30 days away from opening day. And DJ Dan, I want you to hit me with your top storylines in the next 30 days.
Okay. We're going to start with number 5.
Okay.
I think we have so many big-name pitchers coming back from injuries. That guy at the top of the list, Jacob deGrom, when he's healthy, in my opinion, he's the best pitcher in the game. We just talked about Sandy Alcantara. This guy has Cy Young potential. You have Spencer Strider coming back with the Braves. Huge K per 9 innings. That's number 5. Number 4, Nolan Arenado. What is his future with the Cardinals? I still feel I'll be surprised he's on the Cardinals roster on opening day. It seems like they're trying to re-engage, get some activity, and to get some other teams interested in acquiring the future Hall of Famer at third base. Number 3 for me is Mike Trout. The move from center field to right field. Kind of like we talked about yesterday about DeGrom and Scherzer and Verlander. Kind of gone but forgotten injuries. We've forgotten how good this guy can be. And I assume if he's healthy, he'll be good again this year. I expect a big bounce back year. Number 2 for me, Juan Soto. $700 million plus contract. His first at bat, he hits a home run for the Mets in Port St. Lucie. He's going to change the way everyone looks at the Mets. If he brings to the Mets what he brought to the Yankees, expect the Mets to be playing in the month of October. And to me, it's all about the return to the mound of Shohei Ohtani. We've talked about Yamamoto, Sasaki, all the Japanese pitchers that have come here. But I thought before he arrived, before he signed with the Angels, he was the most talented, the most imposing pitcher that I had seen on tape from Japan. I hope we get a glimpse to see that guy again.
You know what? I'm sitting back here and I'm smiling because like they don't even really need him to pitch.
They don't.
Like, is that not insane?
It is.
But I mean, I will say this. Where do you think that Arenado goes? Do you have any inclination that what would be the best fit for him?
My gut is telling me that he's going to eventually end up with the Houston Astros when it's all said and done. I think that's where it's going to be. I have no inside information, but to me, that's kind of where all the pegs fit.
Juan Soto, by the way, you know how he did his introductory press conference, and then he had his press conference out at spring training when he first arrived on the scene. Somebody asked him in Spanish if, what his first big purchase is with that contract. He hasn't bought anything.
Really?
He hasn't bought anything.
I thought you were going to say anything I want.
No, he really could buy anything he wants. But somebody was like, are you not working with a real estate agent? He's like, no, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, he's not worried about finding a place in the big city right now, is he?
No.
No. He's shopping in a different area than you and I shop at.
He's been shopping in a different area than you and I shop at. Meanwhile, here's another sign. Opening day is just around the corner. MLB Network's 30 clubs in 15 days coverage is set to get underway on Wednesday. Roflo and Cliff Floyd will be at Nationals camp, while Greg Amsinger and Yonder Alonso will have everything covered with the Dodgers. And speaking of the defending World Series champs, here is the Mariners and Dodgers. Blake Snell making his Dodgers debut. First time in Dodger blue. He strikes out Julio Rodriguez swinging, so that is his first strikeout as a Dodger. Later in the inning, Snell going against Mitch Garver. He gets Garver to ground out, so he goes 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 strikeout. Top of the second, now 2-1 Seattle. Rodriguez up. J-Rod, a 2-run double to right center. They need to start the season with him hot.
I agree with you. Last night you said on the show he needs to get off to a good start. I couldn't agree with you more. To me, he's the key for the Mariners.
Bottom of the second, Luis Castillo. He was making his spring debut. Does he get the opening day nod?
I don't think he gets the opening day nod. They have such a great stable of good, young starting pitching that, listen, it's not a bad thing if you don't make the opening day start for the Mariners. Other than the Dodgers, top to bottom, the best rotation in the game.
Castillo, by the way, went 1 2/3 scoreless, and that would be Garver hitting a solo shot. That is his first homer of the spring. Mariners extended lead 5-1 and would go on to win 11-5. So Blake Snell signed for 5 years, $182 million. According to my sources, the Dodgers are getting Snell at just the right time. And Dan, you're my source. Explain why And also, why are you leaking info to someone with such a big mouth?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is what I like about it. I think last year we had him on MLB Tonight after one of his really good starts, and he said something that to me was so profound, and I haven't forgotten it, Sierra. He's done trying to be what people want him to be. He's never going to be Tom Glavine. He's never going to go out there consistently and throw 7-8 innings and throw 8 pitches per night. There's going to be some spring around a little bit. He's going to have an inning like he had today. 30 pitches, 20 for strikes, but he has the ability, swing and miss with 3 different pitches. The Dodgers are getting a finished product. He's proven he can pitch on the big stage. And if you don't believe me, ask the Dodgers, because I don't know what would have happened if the Rays wouldn't have taken him out of that game that was the eventual clincher for the Dodgers during the pandemic season when the World Series was in Arlington. He is a front-of-the-line starter. I thought last year, listen, it's easy for us to sit back and say, hey, why didn't you sign early? He was waiting for the right offer. He missed most of spring training, tried to do that accelerated spring training in a couple of weeks with the Giants. It didn't work. His feet fell underneath him probably around the middle of June last year, and I don't blame him. For the month of September, he decided to skip a few starts, parlay that into a great deal. One of the top 5 starting left-handed pitchers in the game without question.
Do you think come, let's say mid-season, are we talking about Snell being in the Cy Young conversation?
Yes. I think if you would ask me right now, the 2 guys that jump out to me, NL Cy Young favorite, Corbin Burnes, Blake Snell. I think Burnes is going to be terrific for the D-backs.
One of my friends, Dan, they sent me this video as soon as it hit Instagram. I want you to take a look. It is Roki Sasaki going in his first sim game. The first batter he faces is Kyle Teal. He gives up a home run. This really doesn't mean much, okay? But what do you think the adjustment period is going to be like for Sasaki?
Listen, it's a culture adjustment going from Japan, a different kind of baseball style, a new spring training, a new team. What I'd like what the Dodgers did, I'm not going to say I love what they did. They had him throw on a backfield. Right now, get some of the attention away from him. We are so stuck on numbers, and we're going to talk about Max Scherzer later on. How was his velo? What was the break on his breaking ball? You have a young pitcher. Let him go to a backfield. Let him face hitters. Let him ease into it, so you don't have to worry about picking apart and grading every single thing that he does. First hitter he faced, he gave up a home run. But if you're the Dodgers, that is the least care in your world. You want to see a guy that's healthy. You want to see the guy that feels more comfortable with his new team in a new country. That's what you're worried about.
No, it doesn't matter, but it was on the second pitch.
It was. I knew you were going.
大谷翔平とドジャース、2025年に向けた新たな挑戦。歴史的な5-0クラブの達成。史上初の3度目の満票 MVP。そしてワールドシリーズ制覇。大谷翔平の2024年は、まさに夢のようなシーズンだった。しかし、彼とドジャースの旅はまだ終わっていない。むしろ、ここからが本当の戦いの始まりだ。スプリングトレーニングでは、大谷がバッティング練習を再開し、復帰に向けて順調な歩みを見せている。肩の違和感はまだあるものの、ほぼ思い描いた状態に近づいている。と語る彼の表情には、自信と決意が感じられた。ドジャースの一員として、また新たなシーズンに挑む大谷の姿を見るのが今から楽しみでならない。さらに、今シーズンからは佐々木朗まれという新たな才能が加わった。彼の初ブルペンには多くのメディアが集まり、その注目度の高さを証明した。初日は、思うように投げられなかった。としながらも、分厚い才能とメジャーへの適応力の高さを見せつけた佐々木。ドジャースのピッチングコーチ陣、そして大谷、山本といった日本人エースたちのサポートを受けながら、彼がどのように成長していくのか、期待が高まるばかりだ。そしてブレイク、スネルも新たにドジャースに加わり、ワールドシリーズ連覇を狙うチームにさらなる厚みをもたらす。私は殿堂入りを狙っている。と語るスネルの野心と、クレイトン、カーショーのそばで学びたいという姿勢は、まさに本気度マックス。彼がドジャースのユニフォームを着てマウンドに立つ日が待ち遠しい。もちろん、昨年のワールドシリーズでチームを支えた貴家、ヘルナンデスやブレイク、と来年も再びチームに合流し、2025年のドジャースはさらに盤石な体制に、彼らの経験と勝者のメンタリティが、チーム全体の士気をさらに高めてくれることは間違いない。去年の歓喜を、今年も、大谷翔平が語ったように、昨シーズンの成功はすでに過去のもの。次のシーズンに向けて準備をすることが大切だ。 と、彼とドジャースの戦いは、まだまだ続く。2025年も、このチームがどんな奇跡を生み出すのか、目が離せない。そしてあなたも、この歴史的瞬間を一緒に目撃しませんか。ドジャースのシーズンを追いかけ、大谷翔平や佐々木朗まで、スネル、そして全選手たちの活躍を見届けよう。このチャンネルをフォローして、最新情報をお見逃しなく。あなたのコメントも大歓迎。大谷翔平やドジャースに期待すること、見たい試合、そして応援メッセージをぜひコメント欄に残してください。2025年シーズン、さあ行こう。